So far, most of the data we have used, we started with logical data, but we moved to numeric data, right? And we have been using numbers, summing them up, counting them, adding them, and so on, right? But there are other data types in the world, right? It's not just numbers and logical data. There are other data types in the world, right? So a very common data type that we usually use is the dates, right? We use the dates all the time in Excel sheets, in different information systems. Another or a fourth data type is text, right? So text is another data type in the form of names, addresses, countries, words, sentences. All of these are text, right? So this week we are going to focus on two data types, including the dates and the dates and text. Okay, so we'll be talking today about dates and some text, and then we will finalize talking about text on first day. Okay, so let's start by talking about dates. All right, so let me share a whiteboard and let's talk about dates. Right, in Excel we have dates can be written in several ways. So 1/1/2021, this is one of them. We can write it January 1st, 2021. We can write it different ways. The year first, so 2021, 0101. Okay, so there are different ways to write dates in Excel and in any programming language or any document, right? What you should know about dates in Excel is that Excel knows the format of the date. What do I mean by this? When you write this date in Excel, Excel has the ability to automatically understand then that this is a date, and the format of the date you entered is month, day, and year. Okay, so Excel can understand it. Okay, this is based on how you configure your computer. This is based on the regional settings of your computer and stuff like that. Okay, so 1/1/2021. When you write this in Excel, Excel will automatically recognize that this is a date, and the first one, this one is the month, and then the day, and then the year. If you write the date in the second format, also Excel will be able to understand the date and will be able to say, okay, January is the first month, first is first day, and then 2021 is the year, and so on, right? So Excel, to summarize, Excel has the ability to understand the format of the date. Okay, how can we use this? Right, let's see some examples on how we can use this fact that Excel can understand or can differentiate between the different components of the dates. So let me make another share and go back to my Excel. Right, so if I write here in A2, let's write, this is the date. If I write here, this is 1/1/2021, then Excel changed it to this format. You can see it changed it. Excel knows this is a date and knows that what are the components of this date. Okay, how does Excel know the components? Because I'm separating the month, the day, and the year by the slashes. So 1/1/21. So Excel recognizes whatever comes before the first slash is the month, between the two slashes is the one, and after the last slash is the year. Okay, Excel understands that. Based on this, Excel has provided us with a list of functions or families of functions that allow us to work with dates, allow us to break dates into their components. So I can break a date into the month, the day, and the year, and another family of functions that combine days, months, and years together to create a date out of them. Okay, so we will be talking about these two families of functions today. Okay, so let's write it here. So we have family 1 of functions. This family 1 of functions divides or cuts date into year, month, day. Okay, And then family 2 combines month, day, year to form a date. Okay, so this is these are the families we'll talk about, and we have an additional function at the end called today function, okay, that returns the date of today. Okay, right. So we have three families of functions, or three types of functions we'll talk about, and I want you to understand the logical meaning of these families. Okay, so the first family of function divides, or the first type category of functions divide the date into year, month, day, and then we can use the individual values for some mathematical formulas. And family, the second type of functions combine month, day, and year to form a date, and then the function called today will give us the date of today. Okay, so let's look at these functions, starting with the simplest one, which is the today function, and let's build on them. Okay, so let's insert some value here. Right, so whenever you want to get or to use today's date, if you want to use today's date for any calculations, you need to use the function called today. So equal today. It takes no parameters, as you can see, and it gives us today's date. Okay, right, so function called today, and it gives us today's date. Now the most common, it's a very simple function, but the most common problem with this function is that it's too simple. Okay, so many of you confuse this function with the word today. So in our language, in our English language, when we say the word today, it means today, the day we are in right now. Okay, and therefore you forget to write the parentheses after today. You think that all you have to do is write today without parentheses, and this will get you what you want. No, all functions in Excel must have parentheses. We said that on our first class here. Okay, so this is the most common mistake with today, is forgetting these parentheses. Right, other than this, it is a very simple function, as you can see here. Right, so we have today function, and then the first family of functions to break the date into its components are very simple. Right, we want to break them into year, month, and day. So we have a function called year. We have a function called month, and we have a function called day. Right, makes sense, right? If you want to break the date into, if you want the day of the date, then you use the day function. If you want the month of the date, then we use the month function. If you want the year of the date, then we use the year function. So let's put that here. So let's put month, day, year. Okay, so the month of this date is equal to month, and then the only parameter of the function month is the date itself. So month of the date will give us what month this is. Day of the date equals day, and again it takes one parameter, which is the date. Okay, and then the year, we use the year function equals the year. And what do you want the year of? We want the year of this date, so I will click the date, and I have my month, day, and year. Again, let's do it for another date. Okay, right, so that we want the month, so equal month of this date, A4. Okay, so the month is 3 March, equals day of this date, and equal year of this date. Right, so as you can see, very simple and straightforward. Why is it simple to work with dates in Excel? Because, as I mentioned, Excel is able to understand the structure of the date. When you write a date in Excel, Excel can tell you that the first number is the month, the second is the day, and the third is the year. Okay, Excel can understand it, and therefore, just by using simple functions like month, day, and year, you can easily divide or cut the dates into its basic units, right? Any questions here, guys, before we move a little bit ahead? Okay. All right. Okay. So this is the first family of functions. The second family of function is one function only. It's called date. Okay. So the date function is used to combine a day, a month, day, and year together to form a date. Okay. So let's say we want to reconnect all these values into a date again. So I will put here a date function, the date, okay, equal date, okay. And then the first parameter is the year of the date. So the year is 20, this is the year 21, comma, and then the month in column B, and then the day in column C, and we got the same date, right? Again, equals date, okay. The year, D4, comma, and then the month, I will click on the month, comma, and then the day. Okay. And we have the same date. Okay. So again, let's recap. To work with dates in Excel, the fact that we know for sure is that dates are structured data, meaning that Excel understands the format of the date. And therefore, we have three sets of functions we can use on dates. The simplest one is called today. And today function is used to get today's date. So it will give you what day we are in today. Okay. And then we have a family or a category of functions to break down the date into its components. So year, month, or day will give you the year, month, and day of your date. And then we have another category of functions to combine these components together into a date, which is the date function. Okay, so these are the different families or different categories of date functions. Any questions before we start this very simple practice? Or yeah. All right. So let's do a practice to see how these functions are used together. Okay. So I'm going to do a couple of simple examples, and then you guys will get to practice. I will have two practices, one individual practice, so you can play around and try to figure out things yourself, and the other one is more advanced practice, or not advanced, another example, and in this example you will get to work in small groups. Okay, so let's start with some simple examples, right? So let's say that I have from here, I have some birth dates. Okay, so 2, 3, 1990. Okay, 4, 17, 1992, 2, 18, 2000. Okay, there's 21st, 9, 1, 9, 21, 1996. Okay. So we have the birth date of these employees, right? And we want to calculate the following. Okay. Number one, how old are these people today? Okay. So how old are they today? 2. When will they be 60 years old. Let's be more specific. What year will they be 60 years old? And 3, when, what date will they be 60 years old? Okay, so we have some birth date and we want to ask some questions about these dates. The first one is, how old are these people today? Okay, so you need to read the question carefully. It says, how old are these people today? Okay, so in order for us to know how old they are today, we need to get today's date, right? We need to get today's date. We subtract their birth date from today's date and we get their age, right? So how do we get today's date? We said that before. So the first thing we need to do when you see a question like this, or when you are trying to compute something related to today, is to get today's date. So equal today. Okay, and I have today's date at the top, so I will write today here. Okay, right. Now this is the first step, to get today's date. The second step is we want to know how old they are. So how do we know this? How old they are in years. Okay, how old they are today in years, right? So in order to get this, I want to get how old they are in years, just in years. I don't want the how old they are exactly by day, just in the years, right? So to do that, I'm going to subtract the year of the birth date from the year of today. Okay, so this guy was, or this girl was born on the in 1990. We are in 2021 now, so she's 31 right now, right? So equals year of this value, the value of today that we just grasped, click, minus the year of the birth date. Okay, so I subtracted the year component of today, I subtracted from it the year component of the birth date. Okay, and it's 31. Now watch closely, because you will see a very common error when you see this. Okay, look, you will see very strange dates here, very strange years. No one is minus 92 years old. The problem here is I'm using cell B1, the cell B1 for today. I should be using it for all my calculations, but because Excel by default uses relative references, it changed it to B2, to B3, and to B4, right? So we need here to fix this B2. We need to use absolute references in B1. So I will put a $sign before the B and a $sign after the B, right? And then double click again, and this time I got the correct dates, right? So again, I fixed the B1, or I used absolute reference. Why? Because I need to use the same cell all over the rows, for every row, right? So in order for me to make sure I'm using the same value or the same cell, I need to fix it, or I need to use an absolute reference like I did here, right? Okay, so any questions about this first example? Okay, all right. So again, I will look at the details of the question 1 again to make sure you guys understand it perfectly. How old are these people today in years? So today means today. So if I'm asking about your age, then you need to get today's date. Otherwise, what is the reference we will use to get your age, right? So this is why I got today's date first. And then to calculate the age in years, I subtracted the year of the birth date from the year of the today's date, right? So this way I know exactly how old you are, right? Let's go through the question number 2. What year will these individuals be 60 years old, right? So I want to just know the year, okay? I just want the year. I don't want the full date now. I just want the year will these individuals will be 60 years old. Okay, so here let's year or 60. Okay, so again, very simple. I'm asking for a year. So our first step is to get the year of the birth date. Okay, so equal year of the birth date. Okay, and then I want to know what year will this person become 60 years old. So I will just add 60. Okay, so year of the birth date plus 60. Okay, and we got a date here because of the format, right? So I need to format this, okay, into number.
Mine is saying 1905.
1905.
8/11/1905.
You did it exactly like this, and it's given 1905 means you have an error. So let me finish it, and then I'll have, or let's share your screen with me and let me have a look at it.
I don't have.
Mine did the same thing, but you just need to change it to the number, and it gives you the right answer.
Yes, yes. So change it to number. Change the format from date to number.
Ah.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Right. So this is a thing. I will talk a little bit more about that again. So the year for 60 years is 2050, right? And we can get rid of these zeros. Okay. And this will be the same for everyone else, right? So again, the key here is to read the question and know what you are expected to do, not just a question. This is not about questions. This is about real life, right? So if you are working at some company and you are asked to deal with date, you need to understand exactly what you are trying to do, okay? And understand the categories of functions in Excel. If you want to break down the date, then year. If you want to combine, then date, right? So here I'm asking about the year when they will be 60 years old, right? So this is why
Can you show us your screen?
I'm not sharing my screen. Okay. Yep. Okay. Right. So here I want the year they reach 60 years old, and this is why I extracted the year component of the birth date and added 62. Okay. Right. So that's the question number 2. So question number 3 is not asking about the year this time. It's asking about the exact date this person is going to be 60 years old, right? So date for 60, right? So if I was born on February 3rd, 90, then I will be 60 years old in February 3rd, 2050, right? So how do we do this in Excel? We already have the year. We need to combine it with the month and day to form the new date. So how do we do this? So equal date, okay? And then the year, I already have the year here for 60, 2050, I already have it. Plus, sorry, not plus, comma. The month, I don't have the month, right? I don't have the month. There is no column here that tells me the month. So I need to get the month using the month function. So I will write month of the date, okay, comma, day of the date. Right?
I think you put a period instead of a comma.
Okay, thank you so much. This is what happened when you wear glasses for too long. Okay, so now I have it, the exact date for 60 years old, right? So I use the year that I already got, okay? And then the month of the original date, and then the day of the original date. And that gives me exactly when the date, when I'll be 60 years old, right? So if we click here, you will see the dates, right? So this is how we usually use the date functions with other functions. Usually a question or something you are trying to do is, what is the date after 3 months and 2 days? Okay, let's do it again. Okay, so let's what is the date after 3 months and 5 days from the birth date? Okay, so if we do it here, right, we will use the date function. We want the date. Okay, the question is asking about the date. What is the date? Okay, so we'll use the date function, and then the date after 3 months and 5 days from the birth date. Okay, so we are changing the values of the months and days, but the year is the same. So I'm going to use the year function of the original date. Okay, comma, month of the original date plus 3, comma, day of the original date plus 5. Okay, right? So we get this new date, right? So the key here, guys, is I want you to know that when you break down the date using day, month, and year, we get numbers. These numbers, we can add to them, we can subtract from them, we can multiply them, we can do whatever, like I did here by adding to the month and day. Okay, and I combine them back into the new date using the date function. Okay, so this is how we usually use the date functions with year, month, and day. We use year, month, and day to break down the date, and then do some operations, do something with the date, and then we combine them and do something with them, and then combine them again with the date function. Okay.